Hi, I'm Ralph de Kempe here at Money 2020 in Las Vegas with Anna Convery, CMO at Jumio.
Hello everyone, I am Anna Convery here at Jumio. Delighted to join everyone today to talk about fraud analytics and everything that's going on in this market.
Anna, this morning there was a very exciting announcement I heard. There was an announcement about the Jumio 360 fraud analytics. Can you tell me something more?
Absolutely, it is a very important day for us because this is an evolution of our innovation and technology. What we're announcing today is the Jumio 360 fraud analytics approach. And this allows us to take a vast amount of data and start to understand where fraud is happening so we can now start to prevent fraud before it happens, which, as you can imagine, is extremely important to our customers and our customers' customers.
Of course. We've been hearing a lot about fraud rings. Can you tell me if businesses and why businesses should be concerned?
Yeah, you know, what's interesting is our research showed us that about 25% of all transactions are in some shape, form or fashion connected. And what we discovered was a lot of the fraud happens within that connected world. In other words, there's lots of relationships, fraud rings, etc. We see patterns whereby identities are being used repeatedly to open up bank accounts, etc. And so it's when we start to look at that, we see these patterns of fraud and we can hone in on them, and then we can start to really flag the risk and prevent those transactions happening.
And how does this technology fit into your existing processes?
So Jumio started out, the name for our company is Jumio, just use my ID online. So we're staying true to the fact that we use your government issued ID to verify you are who you say you are before you start to get into the transaction. And so using all the data we gather from our customers as we go through those transactions, onboarding, etc., that data allows us to start to use via AI-driven predictive analytics and behavioral analysis. It allows us to see patterns and connections, and it allows us to see what's going on. And when you look at those patterns and connections, you see relationships that tell you what is actually transpiring. Is this true, legitimate behavior? Or is it not? Is it fraud? Is it of high risk? And that is how we start to understand, using our data, machine learning, AI, all of those wonderful technologies, put those together along with a vast wealth of data from around the world. We see the patterns, we see the clusters, we see the relationships, and we can start to pinpoint the fraud and to highlight the risk.
Could you run me through the benefits for the business user?
Of course, I mean, fraud is a massively expensive issue for all of us. I believe there was a report came out in 22 where the US estimated it's an $8 billion expense. So that in and of itself is just huge for all of us, not only for us as businesses, but us as customers and consumers, because somewhere along the line that all has to be managed and or offset. And so, you know, the prevention of fraud is getting much more sophisticated. We've seen this. I've been in cybersecurity and fraud for longer than I want to admit, but it continues to get more sophisticated. It continues to advance apace. And the whole purpose of being able to look not just at the transactions, but also to look at the data and understand what's happening and get ahead of it. This is how we get ahead of the bad actors. We don't need to be 2 steps ahead of the bad actors. We need to be 3, 4, and 5 steps ahead of the bad actors. And it's technology, it's the machine learning, it's the AI, it's the understanding of the sophistication of what's happening and getting ahead of it that really is helping us stay on the good side of this and fight a good fight.
Right. And what sets Jumio's offering apart from your competition?
So Jumio is the leader in this space. We have been around for many, many years. We have a presence in over 200 countries and regions in the world and have customers around the world. As you know, fraud and cybersecurity, that fight does not know geography bounds. It's right around the globe. So by virtue of our presence, by virtue of the volume of data, by virtue of the complexity of what we deal with, you know, here we are at Money 2020 talking a lot about financial services. But think about gaming and gambling, think about healthcare, think about travel. It's in all of these arenas, and we play in all of those arenas as the leader. And quite frankly, that plus the innovation and the investment we've made in technology makes us be 2 and 3 steps ahead of everybody else. And the Jumio 360 fraud analytics today certainly leapfrogs a lot of the technology and solutions out there, and we continue to dominate, and we will hopefully continue to deliver a really good service, because that is much more important than anything.
So all of the industries and all of the geographies.
We are there. We are truly international, not just as a company, but we're international with our customer base, with our partner base, and with all of our relationships. So it's good to have that presence because we benefit from seeing a lot of what's going on.
As you've mentioned, we're here at Money 2020.
Yes.
How have you been liking the conference and the show so far?
As always, we have had great meetings and great conversations. We view this in many different areas. First of all, of course, we're meeting with our customers and our prospects and partners, and that's obvious to anybody who's participating. But it's also a great event to get to know what's going on in the market, to talk to everybody else. And yes, I'm very proud of Jumio and what Jumio does, but by virtue of sharing knowledge and experience with others in this industry, we all get stronger. And you see that. I'm talking to our competitors, I'm talking to my customers, and I'm learning so much. It's a great forum for learning. So that, I think, is a huge advantage to being here.
Thank you so much, Anna Convery, CMO at Jumio. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.